This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
All right, again, we give God the glory, and again, just another great opportunity for Liberty University and our Flames Nation. Excited about this week. It's a great opportunity for us to have a team like North Texas to come into Williams Stadium. I know our fans going to come out and support us. Particularly, we didn't have a chance to play a game last week, so I know our football fans going to come out. I know our student section is going to be fantastic. I hope y'all come on out and give us a great support, which I know they will. I think our team is positive. We're well rested. I think our guys are excited to play. Looking forward to this great competition. Again, it's going to be one of the best offenses that we're going to probably face throughout this whole football season. And I think we as coaches, you get thrilled about these type of games that are coming up. A little bit about North Texas. Seth Luttrell, I got a chance to know him a little bit. He was an offensive coordinator there at University of North Carolina when we played them back there in 14, I believe. And then he's done a phenomenal job there in North Texas. Now his second season, I should say his third season, has finished 2 years there. Did had a great season this last year. Their quarterback is the guy. He knows how to run the show. He's the guy that gets it all done. I can tell you one good little story here about Seth Luttrell. We got a chance to play some golf in Arizona, and I know he can hit the driver very, very well. He had about a 360-yard par 4 deal, and he drove the whole deal and made an eagle on it. So he has one up on me as far as playing me in golf and beat me in one game there as far as that goes. So, again, a good coach, good person. Graham Harrah, their offensive coordinator, I know of him, recruited him as he was there in Ennis, Texas. His dad's a very good high school football coach in Ennis, Texas, who's done a fantastic job, his dad and himself. And I know that Graham Harrah is going to be a good football coach, which he is. He's done a fantastic job as play calling. I like what he's done and watched quite a few of his games from the summer till even today and all that, and continue to watch what he does. Defensively, Coach Reffert, their defensive coordinator, they run multiple fronts. They'll be in an odd, they'll be in an even front, they'll be in the bare front. So there are multiple fronts that we're going to have to making sure that we on our top game as for recognizing what to do and when to do it when they get into these different fronts. And they blitz quite a bit, different styles of that too. Probably one guy that's kind of got a name out there as far as what happened this last ball game, the special teams coordinator. Again, I can't say I may have his pronouncing his name correctly, but I'm going to say Biagi, Marty Biagi, special teams coordinator. Obviously, the punt return there that they pulled against Arkansas, which is a great play, and they did a fantastic job there. So everybody's going to know his name now because of that occurred. So that's probably the special teams play of the year as far as that goes. So they do some things on special teams. They're solid. They do a good job on every phase of it. So we definitely got to be ready to go as far as that goes. Injury report, Sean Queen, he's out for the season. He will have surgery sometime this week, or I should say next week. Jonathan Graham, he had surgery this past week on the lower body. And Kamani Donaldson is questionable, has a lower body. Fidel Obafen, questionable, has a lower body. And there is a suspension. Vincent Elefante violated team rules. He will not play this ball game. He's out for one game. I think the keys to this game is if I really look at the statistics, the thing that really jumped out at me is they have 9 interceptions in 3 ball games, and that's a big number. Again, they had quite a few of them here against Arkansas, but still they've done a very, very good job as far as turnovers. So they've gained 10 turnovers. They've only had 2 on their side as far as an offensive side of the ball. So it's a +8. If you get a +8 in 3 football games, you're going to win some games. I can promise you that. So the winning the turnover margin, if I had to say the one big thing that's going to be very, very important is we have to take care of the football. We got to take the ball away from them, but we must not give them an extra possession because we turn the ball over. I think if we go 1 or less, I think we have a great chance, but that's going to be huge. As you look back in the past, in the games that they may have struggled in, they haven't turned the ball over, or excuse me, when they have struggled as far as playing well, they've had many, many turnovers. And when they have not had turnovers, they've done fairly well, particularly here in the last year and these 3 ball games. Then I think just matchup-wise, their receivers versus our DBs, our receivers versus their DBs. Again, you also got to have your O-line protecting on both sides of the ball. But I think the matchups of our secondary against their receivers, vice versa, there's going to be some key matchups that's going to happen, and we have to win those. There's going to be some 50-50 balls, and we got to win those. I think those are some key things that are going to come and take place in this football game. Open it up to the questions.
Coach, give us an idea what you did on Saturday. Did you have a chance to kind of relax a little, watch some football? Obviously, I know you watched the North Texas game, but just kind of give us an idea what you did with the day.
Well, part of the day was spending time with my wife, just doing a few little things around the house for her and for us, and then just spending time with each other and just talking about life in general and just talking about God and different things of that nature. And then we kind of watched some football games together and talking about the games and those kind of things of that nature. So, again, a relaxed day. I didn't have an opportunity, or I should say we gave an opportunity for our coaches and our players to really do things on their own. We had an opportunity for them to have an occasional meal, to have some of our players over to some of the coaches' houses and being around their own families and those type of things of that nature. So that's kind of what I did there on Saturday.
You obviously graduated from North Texas. What do you remember from your time there in Denton, and about the atmosphere and the courses and the classes and what you're able to do, and the campus in general about North Texas?
Well, I think probably the number one thing that probably stands out, our oldest daughter was born in Denton, Texas. So that's probably the first thing that comes to our mind is having an opportunity to be there and obviously getting my bachelor's degree there at North Texas. My wife got her master's degree at North Texas. That was part of the reason why we ended up there. I had been playing baseball, and my wife had traveled with me for 4 years around all over the country. We had moved like 25 times. In baseball, you move 3 or 4 times in 1 year. So I told her once I decided to give up baseball, you choose wherever you want to get your master's degree. That's where she chose to go, and that's where I ended up finishing my degree. She got her master's degree in behavioral psychology, and so that's the reason why I kind of ended up there. And Corky Nelson was the coach, gave me a chance to be a volunteer coach there. Got a chance to coach some good players and had some good teams, and only spent 1 year there. But again, it's a good environment we had there, good institution, right up the road from where I grew up in Fort Worth, just about 30 miles away. And so that's kind of how I ended up and got my degree there.
What did you do during the week of practice? You said Tuesday, Wednesday, you're going to focus on fundamentals and begin transitioning to focusing on North Texas. What were you able to do during that week to, keep the team sharp and also prepare for this week?
Well, I think we gave some guys some break that maybe had a little bumps and bruises. They didn't maybe practice a whole lot. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we did practice those 3 days. Thursday day, we kind of focused on some third down conversions, both offensive and defensive perspective, trying out some different things of that nature from scheme-wise to see can we benefit ourselves both from stopping the run and then also continue to do better in our run game. Then trying to keep our timing on our receivers and quarterbacks. We thought we weren't quite as sharp against the Army game. So we're really focused on those things. It wasn't pretty much was a light practices. We didn't have out there a long time, but we were sharp and right to the point and getting to the things that we need to do to make sure that we can be sharp if we continue these next 4 or 5 ball games before our next break.
Coach, in the wake of the punt return North Texas did have, there's rumblings now that the Rules Committee might change how fair catches are called. What could be changed, if anything, in the aftermath and the fallout of that?
Oh, I mean, I think you can question whether there was a little bit of a movement of his hand. They've always kind of stated anything that is shoulder or above any little movement, then there is a fair catch. He did not have his hand or arm or whatever above the shoulder area, so I can see why it was not called. I mean, I just see it as a good play by them. So, again, I guess the Rules Committee is going to look at that. There's always some plays that come up where you kind of look at it and say, was that you should not do anything that's a deceitful. It's kind of some of the words sometimes they use as far as offense or defense. If you're trying to do something that's in a deceitful way, then that's not legal in a general speaking. So, I guess we'll kind of get more of that here in the next 6 to 8 months, and I'm sure there will be something that come up at that time. So it wasn't a clear deal from my point of view, but again, I could see where you can get into some dangerous situations where you have the punt team going down, and you say, well, let's err on making sure we tackle this guy, versus if it's a little iffy, you don't tackle him as far as that goes. So, again, we're not making that big of a deal out of it. Obviously, our guys have seen it. We're going to coach up our guys and do what we need to do.
How much did Lemonnier and Probert benefit from an off week, and how close is Probert here at this point? How's he progressing?
Yeah, we want to get that evaluation until really in October. Lemonnier is going to practice today, and we'll see what happens.
You tell me about your golf game with Seth Luttrell, like when that was and how that came about.
Well, he's on the board of trustees for the American Football Coaches Association. We have a meeting every May in Arizona, and he just got on the board this year, and so we just end up kind of randomly just kind of picked us out as far as being able to match up together as a foursome, and so just had a little fun playing some golf and enjoyed his company, and obviously I knew of him. As far as his history of being in Oklahoma, played fullback there and all that, and admired him as a football player.
So that was his past name?
Yes.
Who else was in the foursome?
You know, I don't recall, to be honest with you.
You mentioned Jonathan Graham had surgery. Is there a timetable?
He's 6 months. I mean, he won't be doing anything until we probably get into spring football. It'd be a question mark whether he'd be able to start at the beginning of spring ball. Hadn't decided on when we actually going to start, so.
Coach, will North Texas be the best team that comes to Lynchburg this year, and what's the biggest thing that they do that concerns you the most on Saturday?
Well, I can definitely say up to date, they're definitely going to be the best team that's coming here to Williams Stadium. There's no question about that at this point in time. I think there's some other teams that can be pretty good, but this is going to be the biggest game right now as far as I think the history here at Liberty University. Bringing a team of this caliber, you know, they won their Western Conference side of the Conference USA. They played very well in their bowl game. They're very talented. They're in the top 5 or 10 in all offensive categories, and they have an outstanding quarterback. We have an outstanding quarterback, so it should be a great football game. I want our fans to come out and support us.
Coach, you always talk about execution and doing the little things right. It seemed like when I watched them, North Texas was a team that would make you pay for mistakes. You got to be able to run routes the right way. You can't slack off there. Is that something that more maybe this week than weeks past you're emphasizing with your team?
I don't think it's any more than any other team that we're playing. It's more about us trying to do what we need to do. Again, when you're in the FBS level, there's no room for error. I don't care who you're playing. They'll take advantage of any opportunity at any FBS team that you continue to play. There's athletes that are very, very talented at every position. And if you're not all in your top game, you will get exposed. And so we're looking forward to the opportunity. We're excited about it, and I'm glad that they're coming to Williams Stadium to play us.
What about the level of Mason Fine? Can you just talk about him and his ability? What really stands out to you when you watch him?
Quick release, accurate passer. He understands their offense. When he sees something and he knows where he's going right away with the ball, he's very accurate in what he's doing. He can make throws off balance. He can make throws on the run. Very, very talented guy. He has a good skill set. He has good receivers. And they doing their schemes to take advantage of his ability, and you can see it definitely on tape. The offense fits what he can do, but again, he can be innovative, create some longer plays, and do all those things. So you got to make sure he can run too. He's not going to run a whole lot, but when he does take off running, he is successful.
Fonte suspended for the game and Austin Lewis out for the first half from the ejection in the second half against Army. How's the defensive line rotation going to look for at least the first half against North Texas?
Still up for our decision as we go in later in the week. We got guys here going to be battling for that opportunity as far as this week in practice.
Go back. You said that you recruited Graham Harrell. Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that and where you were at that point and just about that, what you remember about it?
You know, I can't really remember all the specifics, to be honest with you there. Obviously, I remember him coming out of high school, just remember watching him play. And I remember his dad, Sam Harrell, in Ennis, Texas, and all that. Very talented guy with a talented arm. Do a lot of things that he could do with his arm. And, again, he done a great job there at Texas Tech, and I know he's a good person. I know his dad's a very, very good person. I know his dad had some issues, multiple sclerosis there a while back, and I think he just got back into coaching here this past year. So really more about his dad than I really know him, but we did recruit him per se there. And it's at the school there in Nebraska and all that. So, again, I know he's a good person, good coach too.